Your name's Ralph Woods, and you served in Korea? What branch of the
Air Force.
in the Air Force? Were you drafted or did you enlist?
Enlisted.
What year?
1953.
And what Air Force unit were you in?
I was a 65 20th Air Research and Development Command, B-29s.
So what was your position?
Well, I started out as crew member and crew chief and ended up as a flight engineer.
How many missions did you fly?
Well, we were never in combat. We flew actually forerunner of NASA, Research and Development Command. And I've got probably about 1,100 hours total flying time between crew member and short time as flight engineer.
Most of those were in the B-29?
All in B-29.
All in the B-29? So what do you think of the B-29?
Great aircraft. Mine's still in existence. It's a Gate Guardian at Whiteman Air Force Base.
Wow.
I flew it crew flew it to the Boneyard in 1956 in Aberdeen, Maryland. It was taken out in 77, I think it was, to Peace Air Force Base. They hauled it up there 9 truckloads and restored it as a Great Artiste. And when they closed Peace, they hauled it out to Whiteman. So I've been out to see it.
Great. Is there any memorable flights that you're on that you can remember?
Yeah, one memorable flight was we flew a spare engine to Kinley Air Force Base in Bermuda for the hurricane hunters, and they didn't have time to finish the plane, so they used our plane. So I got one flight with the hurricane hunters. I don't want to do that again.
So did you find a hurricane?
No, yeah, we found it. It found my teeth too. I've had false teeth ever since.
Oh, wow.
The plane was gone one direction, I went the other.
So what was the best thing about B-29?
Well, it was just an experience for a young guy. I went in when I was 18 years old, became a crew chief at 20, and it was no farm boy. It was quite an experience.
Where are you from?
Worcester, Ohio.
And what year did you exit the service?
57. I was in the reserves till 61.
Is there any other experiences that?
Well, I remember one time when we flew to a lot of times just in bad weather. We flew high altitude visibility studies, low altitude. We were out at Patrick Air Force Base and we were flying up over the Banana River. And the scientist who was on board asked the captain if his Captain Barron, can you get a little lower? Captain Barron was quite a character. He put the thing down the Banana River, and I was looking out the left scanner at that time, and there's a bunch of ducks swimming around. And I seen this coming, they all dove. We were picking up little whirlwinds of water from the propellers. We had put the gear down and it touched the water.
Wow.
And he says, is that low enough? I kind of stuttered and said, that'll do. And I often wondered what people on the shore thought.
Must have been a pretty good pilot to fly that low.
Yeah, he was.
So did they ever let you fly the plane?
We do long flights. We switched off a lot of times, and because the 29 had no backup, it was strictly cable to the controls, so it took a pretty good control on, like in the flying the Hurricanes, it took both the pilot and co-pilot at the same time. So we'd switch off, and I've had the controls of 29, and I had a chance to land one time, and I said I didn't want all the 9 guys and a $2 million plane in my hands, but I have flown it.
So you're a pretty good pilot in the air, though?
Wasn't too bad. I still fly radio controlled model airplanes.
Excellent. Were you anywhere else that you were besides Korea?
Never was in Korea. It was all state, like I said.
All stateside?
Stateside and islands. I've been from Argentina, Newfoundland to Puerto Rico, and any of the Caribbean islands was big enough to land a B-29 on. We landed on what they call downrange studies, forerunner for NASA's space program. Came up years later.
What's the longest flight you ever did in a B-29?
Coast to coast, 12 hours.
Was that nonstop, or did you have to land?
Nonstop.
Nonstop? From what city to what city?
From Hanscomfield, Massachusetts, outside of Bedford, Massachusetts, to the big one in California. I can't think of the name of it now. The big Air Force base in California, experimental base.
Did you bring a lot of food with you? on a 12-hour flight or any?
Yeah, we had flight rations. They give us a flight lunch and stuff. Worst part of that is they include cigarettes. And I got hooked.
Anything else you would like to add?
Well, I'd like to add that it was a great experience to be on the B-29s, and the best experience I've had was on the honor flight on the 7th of June to D.C. and the welcome we got back at Washington at Columbus. That was something I'll never forget.
All right, Ralph, thank you very much for your time.